What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Grist Family Podcast, where we talk about friendships, love, Christ, and everything in between. My name is Kimra. This is my husband, Greg. We're so glad you guys joined us today. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about how we got started, and we'll show you a little bit of our setup. Hope you enjoy.
All right, y'all. So we're here talking about how we started our podcast. It's actually we actually had it for about 8 months now.
I think so.
Yeah,
like that.
And man, the 8 months have flew by. We've learned so much, and but the beginnings kind of happened some years ago, but then something kind of changed at the end of last year that kind of really pushed us in. So we're going to talk about what inspired us. So I will start this off by saying, well, one of the first things is I feel like when we first got married, we were very interested in relationships. That's one thing that we were kind of nosy. So we were try to be in some of y'all's business.
Not like that though. We was a nosy in a good way, I guess.
Nosy in a good way. I'm
kidding.
I'm kidding for right now. But we were so excited about what God had did for us that we wanted to share. Like we always knew we kind of wanted to share it, and I feel like deep down this was something that was like unspoken for a long time. And then I remember us talking about a podcast a couple years back before the pandemic, and then I started getting inspired to do a podcast. So at the time, this was like around 2019, I actually I technically started a podcast. I shot it, but I never actually published anything. And it was actually a podcast about filmmaking. And I remember we filmed the first couple episodes, or the first episode. Well, actually, it was a couple episodes at a studio in
St. Pete.
At a studio in St. Pete, Clearwater area. And I was going to get help from the county, and they were going to assist me in doing this thing. So I actually had a whole studio lineup that wasn't even like an actual studio at what is now the Christian, or the CB, or what was it, the CTN, yeah, the Christian Television Network. And I was gonna film, and it was gonna be great. And but it was weird because like I shot the episodes, I was excited for it, but I wasn't inspired and motivated enough to keep it going. I was finding myself frustrated with just a lot of things. At first I was inspired to do something, but then after I did it, I don't know, some time went by, and then literally I ended up starting getting busy. And this is kind of the long, short story of it. So I started getting busy with work. And then to drive to take that 30-40 minute drive every time I wanted to go over there and everything, and just plan the setup. And it was all based on having special guests every episode. So it was kind of hard. It was one of those things that it just wasn't working in my life as well as me being motivated. Now, if I was motivated enough to do it, then I would have just did it. But I didn't push through on that. And maybe one day I'll start another, podcast for filmmaking, because as some of you may know, I am a filmmaker, a freelance videographer and photographer. So this stuff is pretty simple for me to, navigate, and this is what I do all the time. That's why I'm going to share some of the things that we have. Definitely don't need all these things to get started, but me having my tools and resources that I had made it really, really easy. I didn't even really have to get that much things. So we'll get into all that. But basically, but ever since then, it was in my heart, because this was like around 2019. It was like the summer of 2019. And I was in my heart to create a podcast. Like something felt right about doing a podcast. And then I don't recall conversations with you and me like after that, but then it wasn't until like 2021, like beginning of 2021, I think we started talking about it. And then we started like actually really, really talking about it like throughout the year. And then we just said, the heck with it. We've got to figure it out and do it. And we started shooting our first episodes that we actually never released.
Yeah.
We shot
probably 6 or 7 of them before
No, it was only like 2 or 3.
Oh, maybe it was 2 or 3. Okay.
Yeah, it was only like 2 or 3.
I felt like it was 6 or 7.
We shot 2 or 3 that were never released because
I think we like had to repeat some of them. So that's why I felt
we
like
changed the setup, and we kind of I didn't care for them. So they were just, so now they're just dead in the water, but it was good practice for us.
Some of them stayed, but like one of them.
Yeah, and I didn't have I think what it me is I was getting really picky about the audio, and I didn't have the audio setup I wanted.
Yeah.
It was like a really lackluster audio setup. So
your microphone is kind of different.
It's fine. But yeah, so that's what I mean. So basically, but then God put it in our hearts to do something, and once Kimra said she was down to do it, I knew that we would have something, and that's pretty much how it started. On my side, I mean, what inspired you, babe?
I just like you, I thought that we had a lot of insight on relationships and just because people would always ask us a lot about our relationship and how we met, and the different things like that. So and I felt like we had a good foundation of relationships and a kind of a good understanding of what a true relationship should be. So I did want to be able to give that to you guys. And also, if we want to talk about our old things, I wanted to do something on YouTube, and I remember we recorded
oh my goodness,
sports video. What
was that? What was that channel even supposed to be about?
I don't know. It was
like 5 years ago.
I guess it was like a blog or influence. I don't know.
We don't even remember.
I don't even know what it was supposed to be. But then I realized, this is a lot, and I don't know if I want to do all that or whatever. Just having a camera always around you and stuff like that. So I was like, so
this was like 5 years ago.
17, 18 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so then so that kind of went out the window at that time. And then like just coming back to people always asking us about relationships or just different questions, and it not necessarily romantic relationships, but even just like friendships. And I found myself like always kind of counseling people on how to understand people better and just listen to people better and get an understanding of the love languages of people and stuff like that. So I don't know. I just felt like, I felt like this was a good platform to have to be able to just give my knowledge of what I've learned in my 36 years of life.
Yeah. It kind of came naturally too, I'll say is like, and I think that's what's made it more organic, is that like it's not like this was anything we were forcing to do. We just knew that we were motivated to do something. And we honestly, in the very beginnings, we didn't know exactly the direction it was going to go in, but we knew that when we came up with our subtitle, friendships, love, and Christ, and everything in between, like that's what we knew we would stick to. And obviously, like there's a lot that's just going to be about us, but that everything in between is like life, like our lives, and really it's always been a position of just like sharing just our thoughts and opinions about it. So cool. Yeah. Well, let's get to it. The rest of this. Actually, I'm gonna do this other one first. So, what has been the hardest part about doing the podcast? I'll start with you.
The hardest part is time. I would say definitely time, and then just motivation, because if you still have your full-time job, like it's hard because like you're doing full-time job, then you come home, and if you got kids, we have a kid, so we're dealing with that, and then after that, then we have to be able to still have energy to do these videos and stuff like that. And that's where the motivation kicks in, because like it can be tiring. Like I know y'all be seeing me yawn sometimes. It's not because I'm bored, it's just because
we tired. It's about 9 o'clock at night. We usually shoot, it's about 8 to 9 o'clock at night. We don't that's our only time. And sometimes it can even be later because little girl don't want to go to sleep, but so, oh my God. And then she's been going through some really interesting phases lately.
So but so that I would say definitely time, and then and picking topics. Like
For some
that's
reason that's
hard.
been harder
Yeah,
than I thought.
picking topics is pretty hard. Like it wasn't hard at first, but like when we first started, because like we already had those
I had a
topics in
bunch
our head.
in our
But
minds,
then
yeah.
like now that we've gotten those off of our chest or whatever, it's like trying to pick topics has been pretty difficult, I would say. So
I mean, yeah, for sure. Like it has been like a challenge
for me, it has at least.
picking topics because, like, we want to have at least a direction in which we're going in. Honestly, some episodes were just off the cuff. Like the whole episode was off the cuff.
Yeah.
So, but most of our episodes are always written, or like we write some notes down just so we have.
Yeah, we always have notes now. Like our first few episodes, we didn't have notes, and it was just like
it was very awkward.
Yeah,
because we were just like we were directionless. So
yeah,
if you're going to start a podcast, definitely make sure you note down,
have some bullet
at
points.
least bullet points.
Yeah,
like you don't have to have a full on script. Like actually, I prefer podcasts shouldn't be scripted at all. Like they should be completely organic.
Yeah,
but to have the direction, just so you have some train tracks to ride the train on. You know, at least write down some key points and some key things that you want to say, reference things like scripture, or we use scriptures and stuff like that. So, so what I would say the hardest part has been the social media part, because literally I have never been, first of all, I'm not that much of a consumer of social media. And when I say social media, I mean like Facebook, Instagram. And then I just got into TikTok.
If you on YouTube, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Like, I mean, if people call YouTube YouTube's not social media.
It is social media because you still communicate with people.
Yeah, but it's really more of a place of where the creator connect, but it's not, it's a creator connecting with his or her audience, but it's not social media where everyone just starts. I mean, like, it's all funneled through a channel. I don't really consider YouTube
is still
as social media, but it may be considered social media in a
what's the definition of social media then? Is it
I
like,
don't know, to be honest,
yeah.
I just it's just my,
that's your in your brain.
That's just my thing. Like, like, come on, y'all. Like, put it in the comments. If somebody says social media, does YouTube come to mind when somebody says social media? Like, what are the platforms that actually come? The first three platforms. For
YouTube,
me, it's
Facebook,
Instagram, and TikTok. Those are the three that immediately come to mind. At one point, it was Snapchat, and then.
But TikTok, okay, so TikTok has videos, and they're kind of like.
Yeah, but it's not like, so
YouTube.
It's more. Yeah, I would say what's funny is, I would actually say TikTok is closer to YouTube than Facebook and Instagram.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Instagram completely lost its identity. It used to be about pictures, and now it's like videos, and then it's like I don't know what's going on with Instagram. But
it's ads and it's advertisement and
like now I don't know. I feel like YouTube or Facebook and TikTok have a very clear identity. And then Instagram just kind of wants to sit in the middle somewhere, even though it's been around a really long time.
Anywho.
And then of course there's Twitter. And then of course there's Twitter. Now
Oh
Twitter, I think Twitter and Facebook are like the peak of like what is social media. Like that, because like when I think of social media, I'm thinking of like interacting with other people, but not necessarily always looking at content. Does that make sense? So like posting on somebody's wall, like a post that's not video or photo. So that's why, even though there's videos and photos, it's like you can post, like people post on their walls. I don't know, like people don't really do that much anymore, but
post on whose wall? On Twitter?
Well, post on like make a post, just like a post without a picture or a video on it.
Oh,
remember back in the day when posts used to just be a post?
See, I'm not a poster, so that's why.
Right, like, I barely. And
I'm one of those
like
likers.
I
barely.
A liker, yeah, I'm a liker.
I'm
like I'll like
laugher.
Laugher. Yeah, I'm all about the memes and stuff. Like at one point, I was all over the memes.
I can't.
So for me to get back on track, for me the hardest part has definitely been like navigating social media. I'm still learning. I'm still a beginner. I'm still a novice. But I've learned a lot, and but I'm, it's been really difficult, not only like figuring out what is the best things to post and like where to post them, how to post them, but just being consistent with that too, especially with like our schedule. Like it's hard to be consistent, and especially when you're not somebody who's just naturally posting all the time on social media.
Yeah.
So, but we're gonna talk about some things a little bit later when we talk about resources that we use that might help you all out if you are getting your podcast started.
Yeah.
So that, to me, the social media was the hardest part. Hands down.
That's true.
Well, for me, I'm the one who does
you
more,
do
the most
more
of that.
The, yeah.
But that's why I wanted to ask you, see what your angle of it was.
Yeah. For me, it's just the time, and then the figuring out the because that's my part, is figuring out the topics.
Yeah. Yeah, her job is to kind of come up with the topics and script and get them outlined. A lot of times I'll come up with a topic, but she comes up with a lot of topics, but her job is mainly to outline them and make sure we're organized.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So next is going to be, what has been the most fun?
The most fun, just like, I would say like just talking and then having like, because I mean we talk all the time anyway, but like actually having those conversations, and then it's just like thoughtful things that you didn't think, like I didn't think. My favorite one was the love language one, because it was just like some of the things on there we didn't, like I thought I knew, but then I didn't, and I was like, oh, just different things like that. So like just some of the I guess the topics, like it just depends on the topic that we're talking about. Some of them are just fun to talk about.
Yeah.
You
know what? Like so I have like a favorite, and then I do have like a what was the most fun. And what my favorite episode is not necessarily what was the most fun episode, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And I feel like the one that was most fun was let's talk about they.
Oh gosh.
That was the fun.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that episode was hilarious. Filming it was hilarious because it was
funny.
It was actually what's funny is like I was actually really upset that day with something, and I just like, and that episode helped me, talking about it like helped me, take my mind off of things that was going on that week or that day.
Yeah.
So, but getting to my point is like filming is actually to me the most fun part. Doing this right now is obviously like the most fun part.
Okay.
And then I have to also say that a lot of times there's actually a part of me that does have a lot of fun posting this stuff to social media, like because like I get to relive a lot of those moments,
because you get to like
I get to
roll through it.
I have to clip them, edit them down, and trim them down, and add the little emojis or whatever, and the little text and stuff. And so like there is a part of the social media aspect that's fun, but there's definitely times where it feels like a job, and it can happen very quickly. And then so like to me those two things are the most fun.
Yeah, I would just say like mostly for me it's just the topics and stuff. I don't do a lot of the editing and stuff. I don't really edit at all.
Yeah,
ever.
I do all that. I'll do all that, but it's fine.
But
it's fine.
He likes to do it, so
it's fine. It's my the post production is in my field, so like I wouldn't have her edit him. I am literally a video.
Give
editor.
Me an X-ray, I can edit that thing.
I'm literally a video editor. So, all right. So we are going to talk about what equipment do we use? Because I've definitely got this question before, and most people that know me and ask me this question, they know that I do video, so I'm sure they just assume that, oh, he already has all the equipment, which is true. I mean, I own all the equipment. But
are you going to ask me the name of the camera and stuff like that?
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna. You'll see some clips and some footage or pictures or whatever of the camera that I use, but that's just my professional camera. You do not have to have a camera like this. You can just have a DSLR and an audio recorder, and I'll make sure
to show.
No, I'm gonna put. I'm gonna record it and then put the clip on top of us talking.
Oh, I gotcha.
So yeah, But yeah, you can just get like a regular like DSLR or just something, or you can even use your phone. Like you don't have to use like something like this or my video camera. You know, anything that shoots video. I would say if you're going to do a podcast and you're going to do long form podcast, then definitely make sure you get a camera that doesn't have a record limit, because a lot of these SLR cameras, they have record limits of 30 minutes. But a lot of the recent ones have stopped having recording limits.
Really?
So yeah, a lot of for
interesting.
other brands. Sucks that
I remember those
Canon
days.
doesn't have that yet, where they still have record limits on theirs. But I love Canon. But the Sonys and the Panasonics,
those
they
weddings,
don't,
and you like freaking out about the time.
oh my gosh. Because like ceremonies can go like
forever.
some of them can go past 30 minutes,
weddings,
and then it's just like I just remember stressing out about weddings. Period.
I remember that.
I love doing weddings. If you're getting married, holla at me. I'll do your wedding. So you'll see some clips of what we use, but you know we have these
sure
microphones, some stands. And then we have a Zoom audio or recorder that has a 2-channel audio recorder, so we can at least just do me and her. And again, if you're not a tech expert, you can obviously, like, if you know anybody that can help guide you, but I will leave a list of the equipment that we have in the description. But, you know, like I said, it's not about having this equipment. You don't need this, but I definitely recommend getting a good microphone with a microphone or a stand or whatever, however you're gonna be presented. So if you're gonna be sitting at a table, then have a table type stand, or if you're just gonna be sitting in bar stools like what we are, and you can just have like a regular boom mic stand that you see on a guitar player or whatever. Obviously it doesn't, whatever works for you is what works for you. But I wouldn't even get too caught up in the equipment, because, once you get a good setup, you're good. You're good till the stuff breaks, because the stuff generally lasts a really long time.
Forever.
So just get yourself, most importantly is don't start off incorrectly. Like if you're not ready, just say you're not, just don't be ready. Don't go into it. Like the camera doesn't really matter as much as the audio. Make sure you get proper audio. Get a nice audio recorder. I'll leave a list of a few of them that you can get that will work well. But also don't be shocked at the sticker price. Is audio video equipment can be it is pricey. Very, very expensive. Even the most smallest accessories can be hundreds of dollars. And you're like, why am I spending? Well, you're spending on it because it's supposed to, serve you, and it's an investment. So, make that investment. I would say, if you had an investment, if I threw out a number, I would say if you had like zero equipment and just like your phone, then like maybe $500 to $1,000 is a good start, because it'll get you 2 decent mics with some stands. And
if it's just one person, then you just need one stand. So
obviously, yeah. But I would be prepared, unless you definitely plan on having, just one person. But I mean, what is a I don't think I've ever even heard of a podcast with one person that it's just them. Yeah,
and they talk about like some people talk about like topic like what do you call it?
Well, but is that a podcast, or are they just like
that's
a vlogger?
Podcast. Like I've heard of one person podcast. I actually follow a few.
Okay. Yeah.
And they'll talk about like one of them is like a mother podcast, like where they talk about mothers and having babies and stuff like that and different things like that. Yeah. And so they'll talk about subjects on that, and then just different things like that. Those are still considered podcasts. Yeah. Okay. That's the one I follow. That's why I just said that one.
Okay. Well, I guess if you're out there doing the solo dolo podcast, then go ahead and do it. But so if you're but most likely you're gonna have at least one other person, or you're gonna have reoccurring or new guests every week or whatever. Yeah. So if that's the case, then I would strongly suggest talking with somebody at like your local like guitar center or something, somebody that can kind of guide you and assist you with what setup might be best for you, because if you're going to be doing a lot of Zoom interviews, then you may not have a lot to worry about. You may
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
and that's a whole other thing.
A lot of people, they do the Zoom,
Yeah.
now, especially since COVID or whatever. But even still, because people are across the country and it's just easier
like
that way.
you're not going to fly somebody in that.
No,
I mean, unless you're a big channel,
Yeah.
like Joe Rogan or something, then you're not going to like fly somebody out and
Exactly.
Unless you got it like that. Unless you got local, unless you got local people that you're willing to bring in to your studio or whatever. Yeah. So, but yeah, there's a whole nother, and this episode's not going to be about that. If you have questions, you can actually email me or reach out, DM me, if you have specific questions about equipment, because I know a little bit about it now, specifically about podcasts. There's much better approaches to equipment with podcasts. Like there's entire dedicated podcast setups that are like, like it's the soundboard, it's got the proper channels, it's got the proper setup, and it's been designed and created for podcasters that are kind of all in one. But me, it didn't make sense to invest in something like that yet, just because I already owned a lot of different things. So it just made more sense for me to buy the recorder that I bought in, because I'm able to utilize it for my professional work as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's equipment.
Cool.
What are the best resources for starting a podcast? And I will go ahead and start with this one. I would say, apart from your gear to get you started, I would say the number one thing that has helped me the most in doing this podcast is a program called Canva, which I'm sure a lot of you have known about or have heard about or seen it. It's just get the pro version. It's so worth it. I think it's like $120 a year, which is not cheap for some people, but it's an investment. It's a serious investment that is like all encompassing. You can do like everything from it. You can post directly from the site. They have a phone on your app. So like when you upload your clips on the desktop version app, you can then like take that same clip that's not directly on your phone, but because you have access to it through their app, like you can edit and modify. So like that has been like the biggest thing. What's funny is it took me like 4 or 5 months, six months to figure that out. Like the whole Canva app, mobile app thing. I was because I don't like reading directions.
Yes, he doesn't.
I like figuring out stuff just like either on my own or whatever. But basically, want to
read the COVID directions for the test. I was like, bruh, it says how many minutes?
I don't like instructions, y'all. But you can do so much from this one app, and I'm sure there's other apps like it, but Canva has been the number one resource for me. And I'm just now, like in the last like maybe 3 or 4 months, like getting into some of like just a small piece of what this can do. You can do things like order clothing with your branding logo. Like I created our logo and animated it all from Canva. So the logo you see is all from Canva, and I add a lot of the emojis. Now recently I've been adding, when it comes to the TikTok video, like the clips videos, I've been just editing the video clips all straight from TikTok, mainly because I wanted to get used to the TikTok thing. And there's actually some features that TikTok has. And plus it's a little bit faster. It's faster for me to just like,
do it on Canva.
Take the clips, edit them, add them into Canva, and then straight from Canva, send the clips to TikTok, and then add the text and
whatever
the emojis or whatever. Before I was doing everything on Canva, which you can, and it's fine. But I don't know, for me, it started to make more sense just doing it straight, because I feel like I create my clips from TikTok now. I feel like it's like easier for me. Yeah. And then I can distribute it to Facebook and Instagram from there. So Canva has been by far the number one resource. I would also say, watching other podcasts, listening
Yeah,
to
that's
other
what I was about to
podcasts.
say too. Yeah,
So,
because just listening to other podcasts and just kind of getting an idea, because like everybody does their podcast different. So like, from setup to just different different topics or different ways. I don't know, just different ways of doing things from your seats and just like that.
mhm.
So like, yeah, just listening to different podcasts.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I mean, until I'm trying to think of any other resources, like things that we actually use. I mean, just using your phone to take notes. Take notes on your phone.
I mean, if you want to get technical, the Bible, the dictionary.
Yeah,
because
those are
you want to
definitely
be
resources.
you want to be correct.
I mean,
so,
yeah, but we're speaking to somebody
know,
who may not be making a podcast.
I know, a Christian podcast. I'm just saying. I said dictionary too, so because sometimes you don't know the meaning of a word.
Yep.
According to Webster, is right.
So, last but not least, what can people expect from the podcast in the future?
From our podcast?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. I don't know. What you think?
Well, from your, like, what would you want to do in the podcast? Like, I know what I want to do, but what do you want to do?
I would want to... Obviously, I don't know. I can't think of a topic right now, but topics right now, but like have more topics on things, and then just maybe sometimes like have like little snippets of vlogging, like when we go on vacation and stuff like that. That would be fun.
Do more of that.
But not like we're not
Road
gonna be no vloggers, because ain't nobody got time for that. But
yeah.
So little things like that. I don't know, just fun times.
I know I want to do more skits, so that's definitely something that we did the one, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would like to do more of that. It's hilarious watching people on TikTok have their little funny little skits.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have some things to share. We're not going to be a skit channel, but we're definitely going to have more skits.
Yeah.
Because I think that there's so many funny things that happen in life that just no one sees unless you're a fly on the wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to do more skits, and I think like you, I want to capture more of our personal life.
Not a lot,
showcase,
but just,
showcase. Yeah, I mean, I just mean more than what we're doing now, which is nothing. Which is nothing. So, we're not like the type to like just do like. We're not the type for one to draw a lot of attention to ourselves. So, so that's not. Yeah, we're actually pretty private people. And we're very much like community people, like person to person community people. So
yeah.
And then for me being behind the camera so much is just like always, it's been like cemented in my personality to just like not really want to necessarily be in front of the camera unless I'm doing something very specific like this. But then just to like naturally pull out a camera and just start like I'm still not there yet, y'all. It was hard enough doing the podcast.
We were so bad that we forget to take pictures of things
important
of our
family
own
vacations.
Family stuff.
Now we have definitely got
we got a lot of pictures
on different, like me like taking photos. Like I've taken photos lot of. And I've got a hard drive.
But
full
we
of
had
different
quite a
stuff.
few times where we were just like, oh, we should have took a picture.
Yeah. Back in the day when we were like, we had the theme park passes, we would go like
all the
we
time.
just never took pictures.
And
then now we kind of have to because we got to create some memories.
But when we were first,
or capture
when she
memories.
was first little, we kept
when we were first, when she was just a little itsy baby, we didn't take any pictures.
Anywho.
So that's pretty much it.
That's it.
I think so. I mean,
All
I
right.
expected, honestly, I
I
feel
think
like
that,
I expected more, but I'm like, I don't really have much else to say.
No.
But if you're
Trying to think if
starting a
there's any questions
podcast,
people might want.
feel free to reach out. Definitely can help you, guide you along the way. Or if you're just going to be a content creator at all, like I can definitely assist you, certainly from a, like, create the content standpoint, you know what I mean? Like how to, like, what do you need to get? Like what resources are going to help you?
And if you
what
need some
camera to
editing.
buy, or if you need some work, you can hit me up. I do have a business, G&K Studios. So, but yeah, like if it's not easy, and I think the first thing I would recommend getting out of your head is this perfection, because you're not going to be perfect. Even for me, it was very difficult, like, because like we shot our first episodes like in what was it, like third quarter last year, like somewhere in the fall,
Something like
but we didn't
that.
release it till January.
Yeah.
I think we shot it in like either October or November.
I didn't even
And
think
then
about
we didn't
that.
release them until January.
Yeah.
And it was because like I was watching them a lot, and then trying to come up, make sure like I was fitting. At first I was like, I don't really want to put this out, but then I was like, no, we got to just put it out. It has to. And I really wanted to like minimize my editing.
Yeah.
Because like I didn't want to be sitting in front of a computer editing something that really shouldn't even feel like it was edited. So just getting rid of that fear of like perfection and all that, and because we're definitely going to want to do that at first, but I would definitely recommend sharing it with family, or if you doing some like kind of pilot episodes and sharing that first, and not making that like your official first episode, launching episode.
Yeah.
And just to get yourself practice, and but it gets really easy, even for people who are not like who are shy. As long as you're passionate about what you're talking about, then it's gonna come very quickly for you. Because
I can attest to that.
Yeah,
shy guys.
Yeah, she is. Despite what you see on camera, she's very, very shy.
Very shy.
All right. Well, that's it. I think this one been running longer than I wanted it to. Yeah. Okay. So, all right, y'all. Well, y'all know where to hit us up.
Oh, that's what you
hit me up on. Oh yeah. Oh, shoot. Yeah. Well, this is a part of my equipment. So like this is an app that goes with your camera audio recorder. And then my camera has its own app. So like I will put,
he'll link.
I'm not even gonna put my camera, because you don't have to buy. My camera is not it's a professional. Like it's not like for like you can do anything. So I'm not even gonna put my camera. You have to buy my camera. I just use it because I can. But I will link in one of the like entry level SLR cameras that you can get. I will for sure put that stuff in the description. Alrighty.
Cool.
Well, guys, hit us up on TikTok. Follow us, of course, Facebook, Instagram,
YouTube.
and of course YouTube. And of course, right here, YouTube. So we love you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.